All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Paulie Mascara with more opinions and things I'm going to talk about and what's going on in this country. And in this video, we're going to talk about the mess that's going on in the southern border between the United States and Mexico. So stay tuned for Paulie Mascara. If you don't, I'll come down from the third rope and give you an elbow smash. All right, so here we go. What's going on? What's going on? There's a lot of people saying that the United States is afraid of brown people. Listen, if this was going on in the northern border between the United States and Canada, and white Canadians were coming down here illegally, we would do the same thing. The United States has to control its borders, the north and the south, but we're having problems in the south. We've been having it for years and years. And now, this policy of Biden that he put in place because he just wiped out all the controls that Trump had put in and tried to fix, because Congress doesn't have the brass ones to fix this broken immigration system. Now we have violations of what Biden said he didn't want to do, was to break up families. We got thousands and thousands, like I said in my last video, of children coming here, parents paying thousands of dollars to get the coyotes, the Mexican cartel, to bring these kids. There's children as young now as 2 years old. Reporters are running into these kids on the border. And because Biden has stopped the completion of the border wall, there's gaps in the wall and people walking right through them. This is freaking ridiculous. Think about it, folks. Would you leave your door open to your house and let anybody walk in? Granted, these are children that are coming in here. And it's terrible. It's creating a terrible humanitarian crisis, especially with the innocent children. Why would parents trust these coyotes, these criminals, which the new administration is giving power to bring these children across the Mexican nation? And Mexico has blood on their hands because there's been reports of children missing, falling off what they call a bestia, which is a train that goes across the Mexican countryside. Some children have said to reporters that they have seen children fall off the train, children lost in the open areas and desolate areas of Mexico. There's even reports of one woman who says she paid the coyotes $9,000 to get to the American border. Where are these people getting this money from? Probably from family members illegally here in the United States. But they're paying these criminal organizations in Mexico to bring them across the Mexican territory. You imagine that, $9,000 per person? That's $90,000 for 10 people. Multiply that by 100 people. That's a lot of money. And the coyotes and the cartel are happy with Biden. The Mexican president has called Biden the immigration president. These people are saying that Biden has invited them. And he doesn't want to admit it. He's telling them, don't come now. Don't come now means come later. And they don't want to say there is a crisis. That famous lady who stands in front of a camera and speaks to reporters in the White House, Circleback Saki, or whatever her name is, she can't even tell the truth anymore. Lord, this is crazy. Think about that. And can you believe that now they're sending thousands of teens up to Dallas, and reporters can't even go into the convention center that the federal government is paying the city government of Dallas to house these kids? This is crazy. More separation of family. And you know what's really terrible? These so-called relocation facilities in southern Texas, they won't let a reporter go in and see what they got. They say they're really nice inside, but we don't know. And they were complaining that Trump was putting them in cages. And then they found out that the pictures they circulated in the news was when Obama was president. And AOC went down there and said that we had concentration camps. And they never, ever stopped reporters from going in there because they wanted the truth to be known when it was President Trump. But under Biden, they're refusing to let reporters in. These cargo bins that have bars on the window are where they're sticking kids in. And now they're holding kids over 72 hours. They're violating their own rules. You know why? Because they're overwhelmed. What did they think was going to happen when they start the construction of the wall? When they Biden said during the debate against his other colleagues, when he was debating for the nomination for the Democratic Party, he said, if people came here, we have to listen to them. We should look into their cases. Yet Trump told them, stay in your country or stay in Mexico and wait for your asylum requests. From what I understand, asylum is requested because you're persecuted for political reasons or religious beliefs. They're coming up here because their country is so screwed up. And they're telling them a lie that they're going to be treated really well here. And, you know, the thing is, they have to go through a process. It's not fair for these immigrants that came here legally. Some have waited years to come here. They paid thousands of dollars to come to the United States. And yet, these people walking in, and we're giving them medical service, we're giving them food, we're giving them a facility to stay. And then when they're relocated within the United States, they're going to overwhelm communities. In southern Texas and border towns, a lot of these border towns can't seem to carry out the services because they're so overwhelmed. Some of the schools are so overwhelmed. They're overpopulated with students. And guess who's going to pay for it? And is paying for it? You, and you. Those who work. Even the poor that don't pay taxes are still paying it because they're pulling some money out of their pocket and they're using it throughout the year and then they get it back at the end of the year. But everybody's paying for it. Biden said that he inherited a broken system. What broken system? Trump put some executive orders in to try to fix this problem. But you know who's the biggest violators of the immigration law? Is Congress. And this is for the Republicans and the Democrat. Yeah, both parties are at fault here because they did nothing. But the ones that love to push illegal immigration, that's right, illegal, undocumented migrants. What the hell is that? If you don't have any documents, then you're illegal. Listen, I've been to Mexico, and I was stopped 3 times. And I was asked for my papers, my visa papers. And then they couldn't understand why I knew Spanish. But that's another story. But I tell you what, if you look into the Mexican law, if you are there illegally, they can arrest you and put you in jail. And depending on how bad the violation is, they can put you for 5 years just for being there illegally. When many get caught here in the United States, well, at least in the past, you were processed, you were fingerprinted, and your picture was taken, you were sent back home. This is ridiculous. Think about that, folks. Think about it. Oh, Lord, I tell you, when they stopped the catch and release that Trump stopped, and basically an open invitation to come to the United States by the new administration, all hell broke loose. The cartels love Biden, and they're making thousands and thousands of dollars. I tell you, it's really frustrating to see, since the president walked in, signing these crazy executive orders. And to me, that's like a unchecked king, because these bypass the legislative branch of the three branches of government. And these people are happy. They don't care. You know why? Because illegal immigration equals votes in the future for the Democrat Party. Crazy. Now we hear that there's more than 300 people who have been identified with having COVID-19. And you know what they're telling them? Oh, when you get to where you're going, self-quarantine. And there's also reports that the government's putting them in hotels, but they're not really monitoring them to see if they stay in the hotel, in their rooms. It just seems like the world's turned crazy. It just seems like the world is just going nuts. And it just breaks my head. You know, when a president says he's not going to deport anyone for 100 days, that's just like saying, come on in. And you know, now, there's not people from Central America coming, but there's people from all over the world. Some of these liberal media started mocking Republicans, saying that it opens the door to terrorists. And now there's a report that there were 4 of them caught. People from Iran, people from Yemen, people from all over the world. 4 suspected terrorists were caught at the border. And that's just human trafficking. We're not even talking about tons and tons of drugs coming through the open borders. It is so bad. It is so bad that they are bringing agents from the northern border to help agents down in the southern border. It's just nuts. It's just crazy. It's just something that's not ever going to work, in my mind at least, in any respectful American. I love this country. You can see the flag of the United States. I swore to defend this nation many years ago. And it's just crazy. I'm going to read something real fast, because now we hear that Congress, several states have have taken Biden to task, and is going to sue them because he said that the Biden administration broke the law which violates the 1974 Act forbidding the president from stopping a project once Congress approves funding. And guess what? He stopped the border war. The money was already approved, but he stopped it. So we're going to be looking out for that. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. The politicians are screwing you. The United States is just getting screwed. It is terrible. We have a great heart. We love people to come here to the United States and contribute. And it hurts us when we see people hurting all over the world. You remember that earthquake back, I think, in the early 2000s, in 2003, I think it was, in Asia, that killed thousands and thousands and thousands of people. The United States was the first country to go out there and help them. Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand was affected. When there's a natural disaster around the world, we're there to help. And yes, this situation would not exist if the president's policies were not carried out. Think about that, folks. All right, I hope you like what I said. If you don't, that's okay. We're all Americans. We have the right to agree to disagree. But I want you to think about it. Things are going down a slippery slope. And the Democrats are doing a lot of crazy things. They're all very happy that they got the power now. But remember, what goes around comes around. Think about it. And don't be a pencil neck geek. This Polymascara. Hasta la vista, baby.